How's it going, guys? Action Figure UK here, and this is my tutorial on how to make a sacred bow and arrow for the Skyward Sword Figma link. Right, I can't take credit for the basic idea of a bow and arrow, as I got the idea from a YouTuber called Zubbie, who has a video on how to make a 1/12 scale bow and arrow. So go and watch that. I'll probably put a link in the description. But I've just kind of elaborated on that idea to make this sacred bow specifically for the Figma Skyward Sword link. So if you've watched her video, she uses Marvel Legends boxes just as cardboard to cut out the template of the bow that you're making. I'll probably put a picture up for you so you can pause it on the template of the bow. So once I have my template stuck together, I'm a smoker, so I used Rizzler rolling papers with watered down glue to layer it so you couldn't really see the joins where each template had been glued together, and kind of round out the edges of the whole arrow and getting it looking a bit neater when you can see it from the side and head on. So then after I'd done that, waited for it to dry, I used Milliput Sculpting Clay. Again, I love that stuff to make the detail on the arrow. So the Milliput Sculpting Clay is pretty much all the bits that you can see in gold that I'd sculpted myself. That side is the best because you can see they're matching, but it was so fiddly on that side. The bottom isn't matching as well, but that side is the clearest and most well done. And so after I'd done that and waited for it to dry, I then sanded down the Milliput, sanded down the clay to give it a nice smooth detail once you've sculpted it and obviously it's dried, so it just gives it a nice smooth finish, and it's not all rugged because it usually will be by the time you finish sculpting it. By the time it dries, you could always do with a cleanup. So once I'd sanded the clay down to give it a nice smooth look, I first painted the whole thing in white using acrylic paint. So acrylic paints all the way through, and so once I painted it all in white, just so the other paints sit on it easier once you come to do the detail and actually put the colours on. I did the light blue colour first, on what you can see, and then once the light blue colour dried, I dry brushed the white bits on, so it kind of gave it the faded effect, so you can't see a direct line where it starts and finishes. After I'd done the dry brushed the white on, I did the gold detail that you can see with a metallic gold acrylic paint and a quite a fine detail brush, because I didn't want to bodge it up. I wanted to get it done easily as possible and clean as possible. So then after that was done, I went on to the purple handle after the gold, and then after I'd done that purple, you can see the black grip lines with black acrylic paint, obviously. So once that was completely painted, I'd then watered down Mod Podge matte sealant to seal the paint job and protect the paint. And then after I'd done that, I got hold of some elastic string. Should be able to find this in any craft or kind of hobby shop or store, and tied that on. Didn't make it too tight so that doesn't bend the arrow. There's enough slack on there so it kind of doesn't damage the arrow at all, and it's nice and loose for Link to pull it back and hold it in his arms. And tied that on, and then glued down each part where it was tied to keep that in place. Once the glue was dry, then paint the end of the ends gold, so it's relevant to what it's supposed to look like. Once the gold paint was dry on the ends, I then used a purple felt tip pen to run up and down the elastic string on each side, just going around to then colour that purple, and that was pretty much the colouring finished and the bow finished. For the arrows, watch Zubbie's video again, because she explains how to make the arrows. What I did to keep them relevant to Link's arrows and Skyward Sword is I painted the toothpick orange, the arrowhead silver, and the ends I'd used white paint to paint them, and then once the paint was dry from the white, I used felt tip pen to colour in the red and yellow on the arrows to keep them relevant and accurate. But then unfortunately, while sealing them, I didn't wait long enough. I was too impatient, and as you can probably see, the sealant kind of messed up the felt tip and made it run into the white, so the red is quite blurry and not very detailed. But other than that, really happy with how it turned out, and that is pretty much my quick tutorial on how to make a sacred bow and arrow for your Figma Skyward Sword Link. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you did. Let me know if you're going to try one yourself, and I'll finish off with a couple pictures because I'm just really happy with how it looks. Think it looks awesome. Cheers for watching, guys. Have a good day.